welcome to Conservation Conversations. It's really a thrill to be here with you in 2026. We're almost 50 episodes into our podcast, and I'm really excited to reveal to you today's mystery guest. We've been talking to lots of conservationists and musicians, as usual, recently, but today I'm talking to someone who's done some really amazing work in the music industry for many years, running a really wonderful, inspirational festival, and Stornoway is going to be headlining there in August. So, without further ado, make sure you grab your tickets now to come see us at Found Festival. And welcome to Mary Hodson, who's part of the team there. Hello, Mary. How are you?
Hi, I'm really good, thank you. Nice to see you. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure, really. I'm excited to hear all about Found and what's inspiring you guys at the moment, and maybe your choice of lineup and who else people can get excited about seeing if they grab their tickets. So, yeah, what can you tell us about it?
Absolutely. Well, so Found Festival is a festival that grew out of an older festival called Towersey Festival, which was started in 1965 in the village of Towersey by our granddad and grandmother and a few of their friends who wanted to raise some money for the community, but kind of do it how they knew best, which was through music and dance and community. And so creating that kind of bond and friendship through music and dance is what's driven us all the way through to now, really. So they started the festival in 65 and ran it in the village for a few years. And then our dad took over and ran it for about 40 years and built it up to a very well-renowned and important festival, especially in the folk music calendar. And then we all, I'm saying we because I run it now with my brother and sister. And so we all started working on the festival from the moment we could walk and talk, obviously. No free tickets, not in those days. And so then it just obviously came to be that it ended up being under our stewardship, if you like. And a couple of years ago, we decided that it needed a new kind of twist. In fact, one of the quotes in something I saw you'd written from Thomas More about tending to the ashes and fanning the flames really resonated with me in terms of what we're trying to do with Found. We're trying to really keep hold of our heritage, but bring lots of new stuff and new feeling that just brings Towersey, now Found, up to sort of today's festival environment and what people want from festivals.
Thank you. Well, we're really excited to be there. I think it's almost going to be 10 years since we played it as Towersey
Yeah.
back in the day on the previous site in one of the big tops, and had such a wonderful time. In fact, my specific, really positive memories from that was many fans rushed up to the barrier as we finished the set and were saying, like, can I have your set list? Can I have your plectrum? All that stuff, as usual, going on. And we were, because it was a sort of late afternoon set, we were pressed to take our stuff off stage and get the stage clear for the next act. But I just had a really good feeling about the moment, and I made sure to connect with all the individuals who were asking for attention and acknowledgement. And at least a handful of them, at least 5, maybe 10 folks who came up and who I just took that extra time with, ended up becoming the closest friends and musical collaborators, from a local artist called Martha Bailey, who went on to make some really beautiful solo material and played it at the Green Note. And so she was just one example I'll give of there's so many musical and creative folks who are part of that Towersey and Found community, with whom we formed really strong bonds just by being there on that quite magical site.
Fantastic.
So I'm really looking forward to maybe seeing something similar this year.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things that is so important to us, is that sort of face-to-face experience, and musicians supporting musicians as well. And now we bring in a lot of wellness and dance and heritage crafts. And it's really about that kind of passing tradition and passing skills on and supporting emerging artists. And so exactly as you said there, we're really trying to support a program of emerging artists by kind of linking them with more established artists to help them develop their proper professional career, which is just really, as I'm sure you know very well, it's really, really hard to sustain that. So having that sort of mentorship is really important to us.
Yeah. If there's any kind of official and organized mentoring activities we can get involved with there, we'd love to do that, I'm sure. And we're also really excited to be playing alongside for almost the first time. I think we sort of crossed paths briefly, but not quite on the same level at the on the billing. But as This Is the Kit, who we met up with last year at the Big Day Out Festival in Exeter.
Okay.
Beautiful Days, that's what it was. And here we are collaborating with them on again. And it's so nice to be sharing a bill with them, Felice Brothers as well. Who are you most excited about seeing? Maybe you can give us something from the kind of later on timetables on one of the bigger stages, but also a couple of the smaller, newer acts that you think people might be seeing for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Well, putting me on the spot because it's hard to choose. Joe, my brother, actually does all of the programming. And every year, without failure, he comes to one meeting or another and saying, right, I've really overprogrammed. So you can guarantee it's like back-to-back good stuff. And one of our kind of mottos that we've been using this year is head turners, not headliners. So, of course, we do have headliners. But our philosophy is all about, when you see the lineup poster, from the top to the bottom is going to be super, super quality performances and artists. And so, yes, obviously, I'm very excited to see Stornoway. I probably was there when you played that many years ago at Towersey, but I'm really looking forward to it this year. And our main stage is very small. We're only 2,000 people at Found, so the main stage is really lovely and intimate. It feels like you're at a really small gig, even though it's a festival. So even if you've seen your favorite band recently play at other venues, the chances are this will be a very, very different and very, very magical experience. So sorry, back to the question. Yes, Stornoway, obviously. I am a massive This Is the Kit fan. In fact, if I turn my camera slightly, there she is.
Look at that. And Gaz Coombs from Supergrass as well, who's a close friend of ours.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, love him too. So yes, definitely you guys at the top. And the Felice Brothers, I've obviously never seen. That's such an exciting booking. So yeah, really excited to see them. The other thing I really love that we've brought into Found more than we had at Towersey is all of the comedy and spoken word. And so Robin Ince is coming back as well, because we just love him. He's been with us for the last few years and just packs out the crowds and the venues.
Wonderful.
Gavin Osborne is one of my best mates, but I can't help but completely love everything he does. And he actually helps us curate the comedy and spoken word. So he's sort of woven into all of it, but also a must watch, if I do say.
Brilliant. And it's very family friendly, right? With the Tiny Tots tent and the family treasure hunt and all that stuff. So I know a lot of festivals aren't as welcoming, or they just don't think to create the kind of family friendly spaces. But
yeah, one of the things that we sort of try to get across is that we haven't really found a good way of saying this, but we like to think that we're an easy festival. So I have a lot of friends with young kids, for example, who are always kind of like, oh, I don't think I could take the kids to festivals. And so I think we completely change what their concept of a festival is. And everything's so small and close, and there's lots of room. And the site is set in such a way that last year I had friends there whose kids, they'd be like watching something on the main stage and the kids would be over at the kind of family area, and you could just look across the field and kind of see them there. And so it was just a very kind of safe environment, which really gives kids this sort of new sense of confidence and finding themselves and finding what they like and learning new skills. So that's something we're really, really proud of. And that's all, again, sort of woven into the whole program. It's not like if you're at the kids part, then that's where you're at for the day. You know, it's very, very fluid.
Yeah, and also it's important to let everyone know, right? Because it's a family-friendly festival, doesn't mean you can't go and see some really heavy, enjoyable music and get a bit lost in it. So Project Smok, for instance, who I saw recently at Love Trails Festival, who were really just so impressive and virtuosic, and people were sort of headbanging to this traditional Irish flute over its really hardcore beats.
Oh, that's it. When you get a combination of sounds like that, it's really special. And what's lovely is being able to, having brought lots of people with us from Towersey who traditionally are folkies, basically, really, really love their folk music, introducing them to new sounds like that with something that they recognise and feel comfortable with, but this sort of new sound and new performance elements and things, it's really lovely. And often people come away saying, oh, I didn't think I was going to like that, but that's, you know, I've been listening to them nonstop since the festival and things. So that's really something we love to do. Yeah.
Wonderful. And can you walk us through any conservation related or biodiversity related features on the site or in the program? So like the Big Found Trail, which I understand takes people closer to nature and lets them at their own pace explore the great outdoors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all round, I think being outdoors and being at a festival just gives people the chance to feel more with nature and remember how nice it is to be part of that and not just on a kind of quick trip to the park. You really sort of feel grounded, for want of a better phrase. And so, yeah, we really try to engage with the countryside that we're in. We're on a beautiful estate in Buckinghamshire called the Claydon Estate, which has got so much interesting history to it. So we try to weave some of that into the programme. And as you said, there's the big trail that we do, which encompasses much more of the grounds than we take up as the festival, because there's also a National Trust house on the site, and 2 protected lakes as well. So there's lots of nature to discover and lots of history. And so in the past, we've done bat walks, we've done history trails, we've done and are doing again this year foraging trails. So it's incredible to be able to use that site in that way. That's something that we haven't had at previous sites. Although having said that, when we were in Towersey, you know, we were on farmers' land. It was very important to protect the land and to work with the farmers to make sure we weren't messing anything up. But for us, you know, Leave No Trace, genuinely, not casting aspersions on other festivals, but genuinely means leave no trace. And thankfully, we have a lovely audience who really, really help us with that. You know, our recycling and repurposing is really, really high. We never have any tents just abandoned and left. We litter pick to the last moment we're on site, because it's a beautiful site and we have to hand it back to the sheep when we're finished. So
of course. Well, it's really great that you mentioned all that, because I know that part of the way we in Britain conserve important natural spaces is to work in a balance with the agriculture that has to go on there. And whilst we don't want to see a monoculture, say sheep just grazing everything, the farmers can often be the ones who are most informed about how to keep that under control and rotate them around different patches of land and work really closely with the crops and particularly the hedgerows, so that there's a biomass and a biodiversity that's really enhanced on agricultural land. If everything was just left to totally rewild, all we'd really have here is wild deer tearing up all the bird nests.
Right.
But the band's very passionate about this and quite informed, I must say, because our singer Brian is a nature reserve manager full time and studied ornithology to PhD level. So we know something about what we're talking about. But it's really nice to have that insight into how Found takes the location seriously and wants to help preserve nurture the surroundings so we can use it for the next generation.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what Found is all about, is leaving stuff in a good state for the next generation, whether that's the land or the music, the artists, the running of the show. You know, it's with a generation, and we've got my brother's eldest and my sister's eldest are chasing our tails to take over for sure. They're both in event management already. So yeah. So our heritage is a very, very important part of everything we do.
That's tremendously exciting. Thank you. And I know tickets wise, there are payment plans for people who might think, oh, a festival, aren't those festivals expensive? How am I going to afford it? But they can still get their tickets on Ticket Plan, and you also you offer subsidized tickets for those who can't quite afford. So that's very community oriented of you, and thank you for that.
We were really surprised and pleased that we introduced this sort of 3-level system, which is like standard, supported, and supporter. And we very quickly got lots of supporter tickets, which means that they paid a little bit extra so that somebody else can pay a little bit less. So those tickets are still available. So it's worth going for those if you need to.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, Mary, any last things you'd like to mention about the festival, or get folks excited about seeing, or where can they go to learn even more if they're on the verge of buying a ticket but they haven't quite decided and they just need a bit more background info?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's loads of stuff on the website, which is just foundfestival.uk. Following us on social media, found.festival or Found Festival, and signing up to our mailing list, then you get all the scoops and the information as early as possible. But yeah, I mean, if you're worried about going to a festival or intimidated by it, then it's a good one for you. If you're a muso and want to discover some really cool acts that will impress your friends, then this is a good one as well. And also, you know, we like to think that wellness runs through the whole festival. So we really do feel like people come away feeling actually more rested and not so broken as you might feel at other festivals.
Sure. We went to a really enjoyable one earlier in the summer, which I just had such fun at. It's Love Trails from Stornoway, headlined that in 2024, and went back again this year to lead some hiking, mindful hiking, and also do an interesting performance called Candlelight Karaoke, which was really fun.
Oh, wow.
And chaotic. But I think you sort of remind me of Love Trails in a way, because it's all about getting outdoors and welcoming in as many people as possible for quite a visceral reconnection to something bigger, and getting out into an inclusive community that welcomes everyone in and just lets them see some great music.
Absolutely, Ollie. Thank you. I'll take that. Use that as a great quote for us. But hopefully people can make it down this year. And as an extra excitement, we're doing a kickback on all sales now. So if you buy a ticket, you can get a link, tell all your mates, and then you get some money back if they buy tickets.
I see. Yeah, like a referral link type thing. Okay, excellent. I'll definitely spread the word on that.
Great.
Well, thanks so much, Mary. It's been a pleasure to talk to you and hear more from Found. And can't wait to be with you in just a few weeks' time.
Absolutely. Can't wait. I'll see you there.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in this evening, and take care. And on behalf